You don't need astrology to tell you that things are changing. You can just, figure it out for yourself. But, this is interesting because astrology is matching up. It's this massive scale of change, and it aligns with the astrology because astrology is just a clock. It's a marker of time, and things do happen in predictable patterns. Something happens, then there's a reaction to that. Then there's a reaction to that. And they always sort of fall into this timeline that's very predictable. It's October. And along with October this year in 2023, we're getting eclipse season. So you're going to start hearing a lot about eclipses. You might have already started to see it if you follow a lot of astrology channels. And it's because that's like the biannual Super Bowl for astrology. It's just because these are really predictable markers of change. And with this big change in the axis from Scorpio and Taurus to Aries and Libra, it's an energetic change. And we have our first solar eclipse in Libra coming up, the first one that we've had. Eclipses are synonymous with change, and change, even when it's a good change, can be challenging. The thing about change is that it brings up some feelings of fear. So let's take a minute and be honest with each other and figure out why change is scary. Why does it feel scary? It's that uncertainty feeling that we have. It's not knowing what's around the bend. It's instability, feeling of not knowing something. And a lot of times we just really want to hook into something that's got roots in it and that we feel rooted, we feel grounded. The first eclipse coming is an annular solar eclipse. It's on October 14th, 2023. It's in the sign of Libra. It's our first solar eclipse in Libra for this series. The solar eclipse is happening over the United States and a lot of Central America and South America. And it's going to be an annular eclipse, which means that the moon is farther away from the Earth than it usually is. So it doesn't make that exact matchup with the diameter from our perspective of the sun. So it's looking like it's smaller than the sun. So it's called the Ring of Fire. I'm feeling this eclipse energy already. This is coming through, and it could be coming through for you as well. And what I want to do is, with my message for the eclipse, is open up a space for us to imagine how it would be to look at mega changes right in the eye, right in the face, and just saying, okay, I got this. I can handle this. Not going to take me down. This is not going to take me down at all. Anxiety is a huge deal for a lot of people. It's really significant and it's challenging to deal with. And not only that, it's very well known that anxiety is almost epidemic at this point for people. And it's played into by all the manipulative things that are going on. What if we can get to a place where it's not an option anymore to have them increase our fear or our state of panic or anxiety? What if we just can become so strong in ourselves, so embodied in our selfhood and in our communities that support us, that unbridled fear and anxiety would have no cracks to seep into. It would just be irrelevant. There would be no power over us in that way. The only way that that can really happen is through genuine self-reflection, genuine self-awareness, and genuine connections to community, to each other, and not just, locally, yes, but also broadly speaking, to different people in different cultures and different communities that might not exactly agree with us, that may be a little different than you or myself, and have that still be a place where we can lean on each other and have an alliance. Many ancient cultures had stories to explain the phenomenon of eclipses, and most of them included some kind of animal or creature that was devouring the sun. And the reason that they felt that way is because when you look at an eclipse, a solar eclipse, it looks like a bite is being taken out of the sun bit by bit by bit until it completely disappears. That's why animals are part of it. So it's dragons for China and India, a black squirrel for the Choctaw tribe of North America, a frog in Vietnam, a mountain lion or a puma in the Andes region of South America. And for the Norse culture, the Vikings, they had these two supernatural wolves called Skull and Hati, and they were chasing the moon and the sun across the sky. An eclipse happened when they caught their prey, the sun or the moon. Ancient people, despite what we've been told or maybe common feeling about ancient people, they were not just superstitious, clueless innocents that, got freaked out over everything that happened in the natural world. In fact, their observations are the ones that have led us to modern science. The Chinese eclipse records go back over 4,000 years. That is a lot of data for them to be collecting. And you'd think after even maybe 1,000 years of data that they would see a pattern, and they did. They saw it. Eclipses weren't just random. They were ritualistic. They were meaningful. Many diverse and separate cultures around the world that were not connected whatsoever responded to solar eclipses the same way, and that was through ritual noise making. People would bang drums and make a lot of loud noises. Now, certain things happen consistently over time. History doesn't repeat, but it rhymes. Mark Twain said that, I think. And that's what they were correlating. They were so observant to what was going on in the sky and what would happen consistently with these eclipses or any other markers. This is what I want to say about this, is they didn't make noise because they thought they would make a difference and scare away an animal. This is not what they were thinking. They knew a change was coming, and they were standing up to that change. They were making noise as a collective, as an empowering act, facing that change bravely with battle screams, like Braveheart. Noise making was cross-cultural. There are accounts of priests making noise during eclipses in ancient Mesopotamia. And ancient Mesopotamia is where astrology and astronomy, they were pretty much the same thing. They were developed about 3000 BC. And ancient Mesopotamian astronomers were just watching that sky constantly, and they developed knowledge to accurately predict the eclipses, and did it to such a high degree of precision using the Saros cycle. And the Saros cycle is relating to the lunar cycle. So it's 18 years, 11 days, and 8 hours. The last time these two nodes were in the same exact place in Aries and Libra, it was 18 years ago. It's the Saros cycle. Now, ancient people did have some hard for modern humans to understand sacrificial rituals. Yeah, and they were around solar eclipses. So if you want to learn more about one, there's one that's the ritual of the substitute king. So they made a sacrificial man and a woman, oftentimes, into the king for that solar eclipse period, because a solar eclipse, if it happened in the region, meant that there was some prophecy, there was something that would happen regularly to leaders during that time. So they would just take the actual king out of office, put a sacrificial guy in there, and that was unfortunate for that guy. But at the same time, sacrifice rituals, those sorts of things, we don't understand them anymore. We don't have that kind of system. And as far as ritualistic, sacrifice of humans. So the Sabian symbol for this eclipse degree, it's Libra 22. A child giving birds a drink at the fountain. That's so pretty. Being naturally helpful to others. Though we cannot improve nature, we can channel its bounty to serve. This is a symbol that's about compassion. Compassion when you feel it. James Burgess is awesome dude. James, if you ever come across this video, appreciate you. I'll link him in the description below. I go to his site often for the Sabian symbol wisdom. He's really good at encapsulating the meaning of the symbol in such a multivalent way. Here's a short excerpt from his website about Libra 22. There are always fruits that arise out of the simple act of selfhood. Just being who we are leads to fulfillment. If we do not find these fruits fulfilling, it's for one reason only, that we have strayed from truly authentic self-expression. A developed person is not dependent on outer circumstances for their inner feelings. Okay, that's where I'm going to stop for just a second. That's what I'm saying here with this anxiety feeling with change and fear. Outer circumstances should not be what we're dependent upon for our inner feelings. Our inner feelings need to come from something that's much more solid, more rooted, more foundational. Outer circumstances will change. You'll have too much work, or you'll have sickness, or you'll have something happen in your family, or you'll get a raise in I don't know, that's kind of a good one, but that even a good thing could lead to, some struggle, honestly. But those outer circumstances, youth, beauty, all that can change in an instant, it goes. All right, back to Burgess. Satisfaction arises first within and then creates life events that please us, not the reverse. When we have an inner peace, when we have an inner strength, the outer circumstances, they also reflect that. It reflects our experience. It's really incredible how that happens. It's the very enactment of our faith that we understand this. Who we are is what we get. Wow, that guy. That brings us back to the concept of authentic community, a group that you can trust, that is supportive in a way that if they give, or if you give, or if I give, it's not going to diminish me. It just empowers the group. It strengthens the group. And there needs to be leaders that really care about others genuinely. That's an antidote to anxiety. Being parts of groups like that, to know deeply that you're not alone, that you will not be cast out, that you are okay as you are, and that somebody can be there for you to provide water, to here's some water. And you will in turn provide that for them. These are the communities that we need. It's precious. It's very precious. And that's what a lot of us are missing in our lives. And that connection of interconnected, loving care. That's what's coming up. That's what's coming up for me during this Libra. Wow, yeah. Balance, equilibrium, community, relationship. It's a special thing that's been lost for a lot of us. I'm just thinking about what it would be like to have a group sitting together in the light of day as the sun gets covered by the moon. The sun is eclipsed by the moon and the sky turns dark. And a group of people sitting around with drums, banging on them together, howling out to the moon and the sun and just screaming at that top of your lungs, making noise, knowing that that is a marker, it's a moment, but the sun will come back, the moon will go, the sun returns, and whatever happens next will be met together in solidarity with strength and power together. So if you've gotten to this point in the video, I want to, talk to you personally because you're the person that matters to me. You matter to me. And I'll just say that things have been a little rough lately. Things have been a little hard lately. And I was not even inspired to pick a song, And I usually am. I usually have it. It just comes. And I said, to my Google, I said, Google, play a song. And the first couple songs were just terrible rave music. What's this? And it's fine in the moment if you're at a rave. But the mood that I was in was not like a rave. Then I said, play something chill,
Here's a Spotify playlist called Chill Out Music.
Okay, cool. And it was so chill, it almost put me to sleep. And then I said, play something that's not going to put me to sleep. And it understood, play music that will put you to sleep.
All right, here's a Spotify playlist called Sleep.
Oh no. So I just said, play some cool music.
Here's the Spotify playlist called Top Hits of 2010.
All right. Oh, that's so sweet. And the song it played was the Bruno Mars song. I think it's called Just the Way You Are, something like that. Should look it up. I don't feel like looking it up right now. I'll put it down below. But the song is basically just what I needed to hear. Just because I've been struggling a little bit lately, and I know that I'm not the only one. I know I'm not. And the song says, "You're amazing just the way you are." And sometimes we just need to hear it. So, you're amazing just the way you are. I do believe that. I do. You're amazing just the way you are. And the changes that come to us, it's not like I'm saying we can't have feelings about it. We're going to have feelings. Some of these changes are big and heavy, but they don't diminish who we are and what our foundation is. It's not going to change who we are. It doesn't mean they're not hard, though. And that's where that strength of solidarity, of yelling and screaming and being ready to take on whatever comes at you, whatever it is, and know that somebody's got your back. Somebody's got you. Somebody cares about you. Okay? Okay. I'm gonna get a reputation for being a crier. I don't mean to be. I really don't. It's just, life is sometimes like that. All right, I'll talk to you next time.